I believe that we need to work toward a day when there no longer is a stigma for being HIV positive. I was pleased today to be here at this forum to talk about issues that are fundamental to making sure that everybody can reach their dreams in this country, to make sure that no matter who you are, you're treated the same, and that if you're a member of the LGBTQ community, you can't be discriminated against in employment, in housing, in any other way. The Trump administration has gone completely in the wrong direction when it comes to protecting the LGBTQ community. I don't believe that anybody should be a second-class citizen. So that means that if I'm elected president, we will go back to enforcing regulations that protect the LGBTQ community, whether it's somebody who shows up at a federally subsidized shelter, or somebody who is looking for housing or looking for a job. I mentioned today several actions that I would take within my first 100 days, executive actions to protect members of the LGBTQ community. I would also push the Equality Act in Congress so that we expand anti-discrimination protections that we need to expand in this country.
You mentioned that everyone should be treated equally. We know that's not the fact here. LGBTQ people, HIV people like myself, we face terrible stigma in this country every single day. What would you as president and your administration do? What's your HIV policy?
Thank you very much for the question. I believe that we need to work toward a day when there no longer is a stigma for being HIV positive. I mentioned on stage today, for instance, that just because somebody is HIV positive, they should not be separated from their family if they're in our immigration system seeking asylum or they're undocumented. I also believe that we need to work to stamp out a blood donation system that discriminates against people with HIV. People from the LGBTQ community. I also believe that we need to be inclusive when we make appointments. I mentioned that today, into the cabinet, into the White House staff, into our agencies, including people from the LGBTQ community, including people who are HIV positive. Our institutions have a role to play. When our children learn in their health classes about people who have HIV, that should be done in a way that is accurate, is truthful, is not stigmatizing, and helps them to see people with HIV as people just like anybody else. So in different ways, in our systems, in our institutions, in the investment in resources that we make, I think that we can work down on that stigma.
Secretary Castro, the Washington Post reported yesterday that Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson made anti-trans comments during a visit to a San Francisco HUD office. As a former HUD secretary yourself, what is your response to that?
The comments that Ben Carson made were disgusting. As a former Secretary of Housing and Urban Development myself, I know that you're there to work on everybody's behalf. And if he can't work on everybody's behalf, then he shouldn't be Secretary of Housing and Urban Development.